Are you ready to learn how to talk differently to yourself in order to get different results in your life, in your goals, your communications, all the things, starting a new way of talking to yourself and communicating with yourself is the overall focus of this episode. I am recording, or I'm doing this live. This is being recorded on June 5th of 2024. And today happens to be National Start Over Day. And tomorrow, which is June 6th of 2024, it is going to be the new moon in Gemini. So I used that combination of things to come up with a series that I'm going to be talking about over the next several episodes, showing you and walking you through ways and giving examples, different aspects of learning how to talk to yourself. And my twist that I include in most things is I'm going to be using music to help you do that. Learn ways of doing that. So National Start Over Day is one of those national, recognized days. And if you're listening to this in the future sometime, don't worry if it's not June 5th or somewhere near thereabouts. It's simply a reminder. These days are reminders, and they help us point out things that we can do at any given moment. So you can start over on anything that you want at any given moment. Start over towards a goal, start over in school, start over towards a new career, start over with becoming you, the authentic you, and finding and identifying who that authentic you is. So National Start Over Day combined with the new moon in Gemini tomorrow was fabulous because Gemini, one of the key components of Gemini or traits of Gemini is communication. And so learning how to communicate with ourselves in a different way to help become that next best version of ourselves, right? Because anything that we want to change, whether it's our circumstances, our relationship with ourselves, with other people, anything at all, we need to do something different than the way we're currently doing it. Even if things are like what you would say in a great place, or things are good, learning to do things differently will help you amplify the good, right? Because even to get more of what you currently have that you're loving, we all need to do things differently, more of it, or do things differently to attract and amplify that stuff that is good, and also to change or correct or redirect the things that you want to change or you want to look differently in your life, having new experiences in your life. That is something that I have gotten into, new experiences in my life, and I will be sharing stuff about that with you as well, because that's one of the things that I'm doing differently in my life. But I don't want to get too off course right off the bat. So I'm going to be starting a series of the podcast episodes this month, or this lunar cycle, really. And I'm also going to be sharing some reels throughout the entire month. I'm doing 30 days of consistent reels, and then moving on from there. It may be the same. It may look different. So wherever you happen to get that, reels on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, any of the places. There's even a new I don't know how new it is, but I'm new to Clapper. So it's all going to be the same reels, Facebook reels, YouTube shorts. They're all going to be the same. So it's just the same content in different places, depending on where you like to watch or consume or listen, or whatever the case is, wherever you like to spend your time. So Gemini, like I said, is about communication. And so I was inspired to kick off this series to start over with communicating with ourselves in a different way to get different results, and to be kinder overall, really be kinder to ourselves instead of that bullshit that goes on in our head, right? All the judgment, all the beating ourselves up, all the stories that we have either developed and told or tell ourselves, or that other people said to us. And we have taken those stories on, and it affects our ability, not ability, it affects how we do things and how we don't do things, right? Those stories and the recurring judgments and mean girl or mean guy, if you have, do guys, I'm sure guys have that too. That keeps us from taking those steps or from believing that what we want is possible, or it tells us who do you think you are to want this or to have this or to think that it's possible. So all that stuff that goes on in our heads naturally, by default, I'm going to start showing you how to intentionally reprogram and shift the way that you talk to yourself so that you actually inspire yourself, motivate yourself, give yourself compassion, speak to yourself lovingly and kindly. And the way, like I said, my twist of how to do this or how I'm doing it currently that I'm going to be showing you is using music, right? And the reason that I use music in most aspects of my life, I have, a playlist available that you guys can get. I include playlists in my programs that I have, and so music is a pretty constant thing in various ways and different types of music for different things in my life. But it is one of the things that is pretty consistent and has been for a long time. And so I'm going to weave those stories in through the reels and the episodes and information that I share with you. But another reason that I chose to use music to help us learn this new way of doing things is because how a lyric or even a piece of a song or just words, how songs can get stuck in our head, right? Like those earworms that we're just repeating over and over again, right? Well, all that BS that I talked about earlier, the stories and the criticisms, the self-judgments, the shoulds, the should haves, all that crap, it really is on repeat in the background, the undercurrent. It's the operating system, so to speak, that is kind of going on even when we're not aware of it. There are definitely times where we're aware of it and we say those things to ourselves, again, out of habit, but we say those things to ourselves or we think them. So, but if that's the programming, that's what's guiding your willingness or your tenacity or your I don't want to say ability because we have the ability at any time, but it's what's guiding the desire maybe to take those scary steps or not take them. It is what is informing a lot of our choices that we make, right? Whether to go after a dream or not, or if we try something and fail, those are the stories that start telling us, oh, you failed. Why would you even consider trying it again, right? So they're on repeat. So just like music can sometimes get stuck in our head, we're going to do that on purpose. We're going to pick lyrics. I'm going to show you ways to use them to find lyrics that actually boost you, that help you move forward, that inspire you, that tell you you are an amazing fucking human being, just like you really are, and start to learn how to make that the default, right? So that we talk kindly to ourselves, we change the programming, we change the energy in which we approach things, we change the belief that things are possible, and it starts with us. It's never about other people, doing things to us or against us or not giving us opportunities. Everything that we want to change, everything that how we respond to things, anything at all, we can control ourselves. And it's not up to us. It's not up to anybody to change someone else. It's up to us to change ourselves or change how we respond to things, change the things that we do. It always starts with us, which is why I'm always talking about my main message is becoming that person who is living the life that you want, because we have to learn how to be that person. We need to practice being that person and overcoming the challenges and telling ourselves that it's okay to try again, that it's absolutely necessary to experience the failures, to understand what doesn't work, and to truly appreciate when we do achieve something or the amazing surprises that come along the way, right? It is that those challenges and the struggles that expand us and expand our capacity as well as our energy. And if you think about that, those challenges and that expansion is also expanding our ability to receive, our ability to handle things at a higher level than we have before, including the good things. It increases our ability to receive more money, more time, more freedom, more experiences, more friends, whatever it is. We need to expand and create space to receive and hold that, and to then make that our new normal or the new normal, and then continue doing that over and over and over. There is no end until our time is up here on earth. So that's why changing this default programming, learning how to catch yourself when you fall back onto that default programming and the the mean girl and the shit that goes on in our brains and our conversations with ourselves. So instead of those things, we're going to start replacing them with songs or lyrics and intentionally creating those earworms that we repeat over and over. And this is very similar to affirmations, but affirmations can be hit or miss depending on your experience with them, depending on how frequently or in what ways we use them. Also, in the way that they resonate with us, right? A lot of times affirmations are given to us, or they're created in a language, not a language, but like a manner of speaking that doesn't sound like us. So if it doesn't sound like us, or there's no connection, there's no way to really connect or be inspired by the affirmation, or if an affirmation feels too unbelievable or too far away or not possible for you, it actually works against you, right? So but music is magic. Music is simply magic, and we can sing along with songs, and a lot of times the songs and the lyrics that we resonate with and that we love are spoken or sung because they're written from someone's personal experience, either what they experienced, what they observed, what they heard, but it's coming from that genuine place, as opposed to trying to be like general or all encompassing. It is very specific to what the songwriter is trying to communicate, or the story that is communicating. And what does that do when we find lyrics or hear lyrics or have a favorite song that we just love, or that instantly takes us back to a specific memory or a specific person? That is connecting with our feelings. And that is something that I have found that just affirmations as a whole don't do, unless they're written very well, or unless you tweak them to suit you or to sound like you. So I'm not dissing affirmations in the way that they're presented, but music somehow helps it connect with us on a different level. It also has the sound with it, the sound that goes along with it, making it a sing-song lyric also helps us to remember it better. I have specific memories or experiences, examples of using lyrics in school to help me pass a test. It was the Iron Maiden song, Alexander the Great, and we were taking a history test on Alexander the Great. That was part of the test. Now, I had the general idea from the textbook, but that song is written very accurately following the story and the history of Alexander the Great. So using the lyrics, which of course, why are lyrics so much easier to remember and to recall than stuff we're reading in a textbook? Because we like the music that goes along with it. It's not boring. It's fun. So I, used singing the song in my head to help me recall specific things or certain things that I was able to, I don't know if it helped me pass the test. I mean, I know I passed it, but maybe it helped help me pass it or not. I don't know. I don't know that I would have remembered it as easy, or I don't know, because I've always been a very, tests don't bother me. I've done very well historically with like taking tests and studying ahead of time. But I just have that memory of singing the song to myself during the test, and the song, the lyrics made it easier. It was much easier to remember the information than reading chapters in a textbook. So we're going to be exploring ways to find lyrics. And like I said, I don't want to diss affirmations. There are affirmations that we can turn into songs. We can turn into lyrics, if you will. And one that I have shared, it's been a while, I think, since I've shared it, but one that I have shared is, I am happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. That is not an affirmation I created. It's one that I heard or saw or something, but I have turned that into a song sometimes. I am happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. And see, I mean, if you're not watching this on video, I'm kind of dancing and moving along with that. I'm happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. And so turning actual affirmations into a song is perfectly valid. So I'm going to talk about all these things over the next several episodes. I am going to be following kind of the phases of the lunar cycle with the 4 quarters. The new moon, which will be tomorrow, the first quarter moon, the full moon, and the third quarter moon. But again, if you're listening to this in the future, there is no reason why you can't start or follow along with the series in the time that you're hearing it. It doesn't have to be. That's just the structure that I'm using to prepare these episodes for you. Really, it's just following a rhythm, following a pattern, right? It doesn't have to be specifically or exactly matching the lunar phases. That's just a framework that helps me present this information. It's a framework that I am familiar with using and I like using, which is why I talk about it, but it is in no way required. And so whenever you're listening along or participating along, whether it's in real time or binging it in the future, all on the same day, have at it. There's no wrong time to start. Again, this is today, on the day that I'm recording this, is National Start Over Day. And tomorrow is the new moon on the day that I'm recording this. So tomorrow is June 6th, right? Yes, tomorrow is June 6th, 2024, and it will be the Gemini new moon. So we're going to start this series, or I'm starting this series of using music and lyrics to learn how to talk to ourselves and communicate with ourselves in a new way to help us. And so I mentioned at the beginning that I had a little bit of a story, or as like why music is so important to me. And so I may reference this, as we go through this series of episodes. But I have my first concert was a rock concert. I went with a friend of mine from school. She had extra tickets. It was through her church group, right? It was through her youth group. And either they had extra tickets or my parents bought it. I don't really remember that part. But I went with her to go see the band Striper. And if you're not familiar with the band Striper, they are a heavy metal band that plays and that writes. They're a Christian heavy metal band. And so that's great. That part is not really part of the story, just telling you who they are. But being at that concert, it was like this moment. And of course, I really only realized this looking backwards. I didn't have this epiphany in that moment. But what really was happening is like I was starting to find my preferences, right? Like starts like, oh my God, I am loving this music. It makes me feel good. I'm having fun at this place. It's different than what I had listened to before. Cause really up until then, I just kind of been listening, to the oldies that my parents listened to on the radio, or just like generally what was, what friends were listening to. And so that I see now as one of like the pivotal points of becoming me, identifying my voice, my preferences, my choices, right? So I think I may actually just kind of talk about that whole concept at some point. I'm always jotting down ideas for the podcast episodes. And so I may just, that I think is a good one to, possibly explore and dive into a little bit more. But that I see it as a really like key point in my life and helping me really identify and become like me, the individual me. And so we're using music. And so that's really all that I have. Just letting you guys know that music is going to be how we are starting a new, project, a new series, something new to play with, and using music to help us become the next best version of ourselves by learning how to communicate with ourselves differently and using songs and lyrics. And if you're watching this on video, it is very warm here with the light. So I'm like wiping the little beads of sweat off of my face. And if you're not, well, there you go. Now you have a visual if you're only listening to this. And really that's it. It's short and sweet today. I just wanted to wrap up by saying, since it is National Start Over Day, it doesn't matter that if you're listening to this on another day, any moment is a perfect opportunity to start over. So maybe you want to take that into consideration as we go through these next episodes and use that as the focus of what lyrics you're going to find and how to use, the practices and things that I share with you to help you start over. Do you want to start a new career? Do you want to start over with a relationship with yourself? Start developing a healthy and good relationship with yourself, because that's really ultimately how we have good relationships with other people, is by first having a relationship that is healthy with ourselves so that then we can experience that with other people, right? Do you want to start over on a new career path? Do you want to start over in, learning something, going back to school, learning a skill, trying a hobby, something that you loved as a kid, right? Something that you loved doing. And that doesn't mean you're going to use that to, for a new career. Just starting over with incorporating more fun in your life, incorporating more play, incorporating things that bring you joy, because that is really how then we attract the things that give us more of that amplify those feelings. And so we need to be intentional about it. And so I hope you guys are looking forward to this and have fun with this next series or next kind of bit of things that we'll be doing this month throughout this lunar cycle, using music to help us manifest our best selves. It's what I refer to as manifesting me. And I do invite you, if you are either listening to this, following along in real time, if you have questions or something comes up that you want me to address or talk about, please message me, share it in the comments. If you want to email me, the best email is vision, VISION, at bluemoonmanifestations.com. Send me questions and I will be more than happy to address them, or things that you quite really don't know how to address, or how, to what to focus on, like what to focus on starting over, anything at all. Let me know and I will talk about it or answer it on the episodes throughout the month. And if you are watching this on the replay in the future, after we're done with this, please go ahead, send me the information or questions anyway, because we revisit things all the time. And asking a question is a great way to give me some, not fuel, but to give me inspiration of things to cover on the episodes, or questions that I can answer specifically. So if you have the question, or, are wondering about stuff, there is a very good likelihood that there are others as well. So always feel free to send me questions or requests of what to talk about. And that is what I have for you today. It's a little bit more, not so much things to do today, or a specific things that I'm leaving you with, just kind of prepping you and letting you know what's coming. We're going to be working on learning a new way to communicate with ourselves, to move ourselves forward and become that next badass version of ourselves. And so that's what I have for you guys today. And I think, yeah, I will see you guys next time. I created a playlist, and I actually didn't mention that, so I'll snip this back in. I have a playlist that is free for everyone. It's my Manifesting Songs playlist. And what the songs that I put on there are, I think, are designed to help us believe that anything is possible, and really connect with those feelings of believing and yes, it's possible, and dreaming big. So I will put the link as to how you can get that as soon as I'm done. Or it will be somewhere around, the video or the show notes that you are watching or listening to this on. And that is available all the time. But it would be, if you don't have it yet, it would be really cool to get that and kind of use it throughout the next few episodes that we'll be talking about using music. So thank you for joining now, those live and in the future, for watching the replay. I appreciate you all. Love you all to bits. And I will talk to you soon. Take care, guys.